Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Yasyat Viradavakradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishvaksenam Tamasriye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Geeta Mrita Duhe Namaha. With Bhagavan's grace, we came up to 42 yesterday, 642. And Bhagavan says, otherwise, or these yoga brashtaha, people who practice but then slip and do not complete it, right, because of lack of efforts, they can be born in the lineage or in the family or in the homes of the wise and people who are Godward bound, with that tendency, they take birth. And these type of births, it is very difficult to get in this world, is what Swami says. Now moving on to 643. My dear beloved Kuru, his spiritual maturity at rebirth is at the level attained in the previous body. He then strives to progress further in efforts to embrace the indweller. It's very important. It's when he takes birth, the Yoga Brashta continues from where he left off. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurva dehikam yatate cha tataha bhujaha samsiddhau kurunandana. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurva dehikam yatate cha tato bhujaha samsiddhau kurunandana. He says, the Parangal words are Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurva dehikam yatataha. We know, we are familiar with the word by now. Yatataha cha tata bhujaha samsiddhau kurunandana. Yatate cha tataha bhujaha samsiddhau kurunandana. Kurunandana. Nandana means, Nanda means bliss, happiness. That is why, Nanda Gopala and all that we say, right? And Nandana, Kuru Nandana, one who gives pleasure and happiness to the lineage of Kuru. See, Kauravas and Pandavas are also belong to the same lineage, the Kuru lineage. Kuru Nandana, he addresses him. Tatra, then, or there, when they take birth, the Yoga Brashta take birth later, the second time or third time or whatever. Paurva dehikam, Paurva, like Paurva is appellation from Purva, that means before. Paurva dehikam, in the previous body, whatever he attained, see, the mind takes a body as we saw, right? And with that, whatever spiritual endeavors, whatever practices, even though they may be deficient, even though the practices have not been fulfilled and the practices have not been practiced properly, whatever it is, whatever level that he attained in the previous body, Paurva dehikam, tam, that buddhi samyoham, that the union with Bhagavan, with whatever level that he attained, with his, see, the buddhi has to become very strong. It has not become strong yet, but he starts where he left off. Labhate, he attains. Kurunandana, cha, and tataha, even from there, on top of that, beyond that, right, in addition to that, tataha, bhujaha, superior, something that is even more sacred than that, samsiddhau, to attain, to obtain, to achieve. Yatate, he takes effort. You understand? This is why if you think, what is it that has brought us all together here when there are so many people here? Not everybody is inclined to listen to spiritual matters. Not everybody is interested in listening to Bhagavad Gita or anything like that. There are so many other attractions that people go after. But what is it that makes people like us to come and listen to Bhagavad Gita? What does Swami say? What is it I want? That impulse, that desire, that quest is an indication of where we left off in our last birth. And I have one 10-year-old boy who comes and learns Vedam. Now he is learning it even from Singapore now. He came to me at the age of 7 and he said, just giving an example, okay, that uncle, will you teach me Rudram? And it just came and asked me out of the blue. And then he started, but the way he was able to pronounce and the way he was able to grasp and the way he was moving about immediately told me, oh my God, there must be some previous connection here. Right? We all know that. That is what Swami is saying here. Okay, Paurva Dehikam, that is very important. Okay, Buddhi Samyoham, then Yatate. It takes effort to go beyond that. Like the way we are all trying to do. We all had some connection, whatever we did with Bhagavan's grace in our last birth, wherever we left off, we are picking from there. And then we want to move forward. Right? That is what this samsiddhau yatate, to go beyond that. That's what it means. So you can apply this on a very personal basis. Okay? And this is not something to be given on a book. And it is really a personal interaction with the Lord. Tatra tam buddhi samyogam labhate paurvadehikam yatate chatato bhuyah samsiddhau kurunandana. Slokam number 44. Now what happens? Next question you might ask is, how does it happen? Now listen, Bhagavan answers that. Unconsciously, he is impelled by the practices undertaken by the previous body. Even a sincere inquirer of the knowledge about the indweller, I want to know what it is, even though we may not do the way Ramana Maharishi did. Even I want to inquire, even a sincere inquirer of the knowledge about the indweller transcends the bondage of actions originating in the Vedas. The Vedas are the origin for the actions, and we transcend that bondage. That means, as we saw earlier in Bhagavan's teachings, in several slokams, the actions actually leave us. We are no longer bound by them. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hiyate hi avasopi saha jignyasuhu api yogasya sabda brahmati vartate. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hiyate hyavasopi saha jignasurapi yogasya sabda brahmatir vatate. Padangal, the words are Purva Abhyasena Tena Eva Hiyate Hi Avasaha Api Saha Jignasuhu Api Yogasya Sabda Brahma Ativartate. Sabda Brahma Ativartate. Tena Purvabhyasena Eva. Tena, that. Purvabhyasena Eva. Purva Abhyasena Eva. What the practice that was done in the previously. Okay? Eva, because of that alone, based only on that, Eva. Avasaha Api. This Avasaha is very important. We say Avesam in Tamil, right? Avesam comes from Avasam. Avasam means there is an impelling force that compels us, that impels us to do things, okay, and without us realizing it. That is that Avasam, okay, Avasaha Api, and the unconsciously, not knowingly, whatever way you want to say, being impelled, pulled and pushed internally, Saha He, that Yoga Brashta who has taken birth again, Hriyate He. He is attracted by that. The same way, whatever is pushing us and getting us attracted to share, what did Bhagavan say in Bhagavad Gita, or whatever unfulfilled desire we may have had, that I want to know what is in Bhagavad Gita, all of a sudden a chance Bhagavan gives and he pulls us together, right? What is it? If you really analyze it, it is, we are being here without us being aware of it, taking any conscious effort. We're being kind of pulled, and then we are attracted to it, right? That is why we are here. So, isn't it? Certainly, that thing comes there. Then, yogasya jignasuhu api. Yogasya, to desiring to embrace the selfless love that is within, desiring to dive into it and become one with it, to immerse in it, to become love itself. Okay? Not only the desire, then because of the desire, impelled to practice it, and finally becoming that selfless love, one with it, that jignasuhu api. Jignasu means an inquirer in the spiritual path. What is it that is behind all this? That truth, that fundamental truth that is present everywhere, the seeker of that knowledge, the inquirer, okay, that knowledge, that he is a jignasuhu. That jignasuhu, sabda Brahma. Now, Brahma is another word given for Vedam. Okay? And what is the Vedam that Sabdam say? That the Vedas actually command us to do action. And they also tell us how to do action. Okay? The basic command from Vedas is to act. In fact, inaction is forbidden. In other words, to be lazy is forbidden. You must always do, whatever is given to you, you must do to the best of your ability. And then how you do it, surrendering and offering it to the Lord, and those are the things given. So, Sabda Brahma, the actions that have been ordained in the Vedas, Adivartate, he transcends that, he goes beyond that. That means those karmas, those karmangal, those actions prescribed by the Vedas do not apply to him anymore, because he has become selfless love. He has become one with it. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate hyavasopi saha jignasurapi yogasya sabda brahmati vartate. Slokam number 45. Now what happens? The committed spiritual practitioner who practices embracing the indweller with perseverance gets purified of sins, progresses step by step to fulfillment through many births, and attains the most exalted and glorious state of the indweller. It happens. All of us are destined for that. Bhagavan has given that assurance. Okay, step by step, birth by birth, it takes place. 45. Prayatnat yatamanustu yogi samsuddha kilbishaha aneka janma samsiddha tato yati param gatim. Prayatnat yatamanustu yogi samsuddha kilbishaha aneka janma samsiddhi tato yati param gatim. The Padangal words are Prayatnat, okay, Prayatnat, Yatamana, tu, yogi, samsuddha, kilbishaha, aneka janma samsiddhi, tataha, yati param gatim. Tu, but, Prayatnat means, we say in Tamil, prayatnam panne. Prayatnat means to take effort, to persevere, to keep at it, not to give up. Without giving up, trying and trying and trying, practicing and practicing and practicing. That is prayatna. Okay? Prayatnat, yatamanaha, one who's practicing it like this, with perseverance, prayatnat with perseverance, yogi, that yogi, by now you know the meaning of yogi, samsuddha kilbhishaha. Samsuddha kilbhishaha means sins. Sins means what? Just again a reminder, thought, word and action that are done without offering to the Lord, or done with the feeling that I am doing it, with the feeling of separation from the Lord. That is sin. Kilbhishaha. Because he is yogi now, that separation is declining, is decreasing. So samsuddha means they are becoming, the sins are all getting purified. Their sins are waning actually. Samsuddha. Aneka janma samsiddha. The first word is samsuddha. This one is samsiddha. Siddha means attainment, fulfillment. Suddha means purity. Okay? And sam means in union with Bhagavan. Aneka janma, in many births, samsiddha. It gets fulfilled. It means through many births, step by step, through each birth, it gets better and better. We're getting closer to the Lord. Okay? Tataha, after that, param gatim. Param, the most exalted gatim means that state. We know Paramapurusha, we say, the most sacred, most exalted. That's something you cannot capture in words, or you cannot think about it in your mind. You cannot capture it in mind or words. It's beyond all that. That state, yati, he attains. Prayatnat yatamanastu yogi samsuddha kilbishaha aneka janma samsiddhihi tato yati param gatim. Slokam number 46. This yogi who has done this, one who is practicing embracing the indweller, this yogi is superior to those performing penance, superior to the knowledge seekers, and superior even to those who are action driven. It has been asserted so. Therefore, my dear Arjuna, be a yogi, he says, Bhagavan. It's a beautiful instruction. And tapas vibhyodiko yogi jnanibhyopi matodikaha karmabhyachadiko yogi tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. Tapas vibhyodiko yogi jnanibhyopi matodikaha Karbibhyachadiko yogi tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Padangal, the words are tapas vibhyaha adikaha yogi jnanibhyaha api matha adikaha mataha, you can say mataha adikaha. Then next one is karbibhyaha cha adikaha yogi tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. Arjuna, Bhagavan talks to Arjuna, so that comes, okay, we'll address it later, no problem. So yogi, this yogi who is desiring to directing his mind internally, directing it to the Lord, directing to the divinity that's present everywhere and within him, and who starts, once the mind goes there, you will start practicing touching the divinity. You want to touch it, the sparsam. You want to talk to it. Then you want to get closer to it, right? All these things are what is called as embracing the indweller, right? And then slowly and steadily you find that, you become closer and closer. This yogi, person who's practicing this, okay, tapasvibhyaha adikaha. Adikaha means is better, is superior. Adikam we also know in Tamil we say more, right? In this case it means superior. Superior is actually better. Better than who? Tapasvibhyaha. People who undertake penance. I know all types of penance people undertake. No, they're all external sake. What is important is the mind should be directed to the Lord. Okay, so he is tapasvibhyaha adikaha. Not only that, jnanibhyaha api adikaha. Jnanibhyaha, people who, the scholars are there, people who do know all the Vedas, they can recite Bhagavad Gita 700 Slokams, so many knowledge they have in different fields, right? Not only in spiritual field or in science, music, whatever it is. Jnanibhyaha api adikaha. The yogi is superior, is better than the jnanis. Not only that, karbibhyaha cha yogi adikaha. Karbibhyaha, there are lots of people
not only workaholic, who are always focused on actions. Yes, I must get this done. It must be done efficiently. It must be done. No, I cannot waste time. So many things, they're all driven. Those are rajasic tendencies are there. Karmibhyaha. Now, this yogi is better than given the karmibhyaha. Now, you might ask the question, why so? If you really look at it, as Bhagavan asked the question somewhere else, what is so great about doing, he says. What is so great about doing? You really think about it, doing is something that takes place by itself. But the attitude with which I do, the attitude with which I learn, the attitude with which I do tapas, that is what Bhagavan is talking about. The attitude is when the mind is directed to the Lord and the mind is focused on the Lord's feet, lotus feet there, and then you do tapas, then you sing, then you do worship, then you do Veda recitation, or you do all the actions that we all do, go to work, do cooking, whatever we do, but the mind with the Lord. That is what Swami is talking about. Okay? That adhikaha. This adhikaha is so super. Mataha is a very beautiful word. Mataha means, as we considered earlier, is considered opinion. This is what has been ascertained by the elders, by people who actually know. Okay, the panditaha. They say this is their opinion. Okay. Tasmat, therefore, Arjuna, yogi bhava. You become a yogi. You become a yogi. Turn your mind inwards. Look at me, is what Swami says. Tapas vibhyadiko yogi jnanibhyopi matodhikaha karmibhyaschadiko yogi tasmat yogi bhavarjuna. Slokam number 47. This yogi, but 47. But he who worships me with faith and determination, with mind immersed in me, is superior to all the yogis. He is the most exalted of them all. This is my considered opinion. This is what Swami says. Bhagavan says that. Now remember, manmana bhava, as we saw earlier, that is what the call has been from the Lord. Turn your mind to me. Think of me with your mind. And then he has been saying how to do that in this adhyaya, in the Dhyana Yoga. How should we turn the mind towards the Lord? Man, mana, bhava. Now, Bhagavan goes to the next step. It is not enough if you just think of me. It is not because you must also think of me with bhakti. You must be devoted to me. Like Kamsa always thought about the Lord, right? But Kamsa was not thinking with bhakti. Sisubalan did not think with bhakti, right? No, it should not be like that. You should think of me, and then person who is thinking of me and whose mind is immersed in me, also who worships me, he is the Mahayogi, he is superior of them all. But that's what Bhagavan says in this. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yuktatamo mataha. I think you can understand the meaning now very easily. Padangal are Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yaha mam sa me yuktatamaha mataha. Yaha who? Shraddhavan with Shraddhai. We covered that earlier. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. We saw that, right? And Shraddhai means no one English word can capture that. It's a combination of several things: enthusiasm, perseverance, determination, commitment. So many things are combined in that, right? Shraddhavan with Shraddhai, madgatena, you understand? In my place, in my state, coming to me, looking at me, with his mind directed to me, right? Madgatena, and to come to me. All those things are included in that. Antaratmana, internally, which means in this case with the mind, right? Internal in this case is mind. Mom is me. Bhajate, very important. Bhajate is like you say, bhajans and all that. The root word, bhaja. Bhaja means you must be, that denotes that devotion part of it. What is devotion? Cannot be said. It has to be experienced. It is the love towards the Lord. Love towards the Lord. Starting with, we all are selfish, so we give a selfish love based upon our selfish desires. It's okay. When from there slowly, instead of loving God for our sake, we must love Him for His sake. And then sooner or later, we should not seek anything from Him. It's slowly the love expands, the heart expands, and we cannot bear the separation from Him. We yearn for Him, we look for Him everywhere, and Bhagavan is going to teach us in the next adhyayam, how to look for Him everywhere, right? That's coming. And then, because once you start looking to Him and seeking Him everywhere, of course He plays hide and seek, as we all know what Krishna did. That happens in reality even today. He plays hide and seek. Then you cannot bear the separation from Him, and your heart expands and expands and expands and expands. Much more so, in a different dimension than what we think love is. Our love is all selfish. Okay, to our children, to our husbands, to our wives, to whoever it is, to our friends, it is all based upon selfishness and self-interest. No, the love towards the Lord is not like that. It has no reason, it has no season. Okay, so that bhajate, with that devotion, saha, he, sarvesham yoginam api, sarvesham, all types of yoginam, all the yogis. Yogis there are so many yogis are there, people in different stages, right, of embracing the indweller, becoming more and more selfless, less and less selfish. There are so many yogis out there. Among all the yogis, saha he yukta tamaha, he is the most exalted. Again the word yukta, tamaha. Yukta means fulfillment. One is very skilled, right? One is very good. Tamaha is even superior. He is the most exalted. This one, me mataha. Look at Bhagavan is saying, me mataha. This is my considered opinion. Bhagavan is giving his opinion to us. Me mataha. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Sastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Dhyana Yogo Nama Shatodhyayaha. Thus ends the 6th chapter called Dhyana Yoga, or also known as Atma Samyama Yoga, as we saw earlier, embracing divinity through meditation, as explained in the benevolent dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna in the Upanishad called the Bhagavad Gita, which is truly a Brahma Vidya and a Yoga Sastra. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.